Back in March, the Center for Investigative Reporting found more than 250,000 veterans throughout the U.S. had to wait more than a year to receive disability benefits. Since then, the backlog of benefit delays to veterans has dropped to 34,000, and the average wait time today is 168 days. Here with more on that issue and others facing veterans are Congress members Susan Davis, representing San Diego's 53rd District, and Scott Peters for San Diego's 52nd District. Both are members of the House Armed Services Committee. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Congresswoman Davis, despite the recent improvements, veterans in San Diego are averaging now about 150 days for a delay in getting back to their benefits. How is Congress addressing this backlog issue?
They're addressing it partly by bringing on more people to help with it, and I think that's why we were able to make some gains. But, you know, it's not good enough. I think that we all share that commitment to making certain that each veteran's has their benefits looked at over a relatively short period of time, because for every one of those folks who are waiting, you have a family that is, in some cases, suffering because of the need to have the kind of help and assistance that they need. So I'm glad that we're doing that. Actually, during the shutdown of the government and even sequestration, we had we had opportunities, I think, to make better gains, and that was lost. We have a 2-year bill for veterans, and in January, we're going to need a new budget. So that budget is going to be gone, and we need to absolutely be certain that we have the people there who are trained and who are able to pick up and continue with the efforts that have been made, because otherwise we're going to lose those gains, and we need to have the gains and then move forward.
To go forward. And going forward on that, Congressman Peters, you know, you personally helped speed up the process for individual veterans. What other issues are you planning to address in the next congressional session?
Well, in the congressional session, well, first of all, I would say, just to back up what Susan's saying, is it's amazing to me as a freshman how much time my own personal staff in San Diego spends, congressional staff spends on dealing with these veterans' issues. So we take a lot of calls, we make a lot of calls for people into the VA or the Department of Defense to get people the benefits that they've earned. And in fact, we totaled up at the end of September, I think it was $398,000 worth of benefits. And those are things that real people count on. So in addition to preventing suicides and things like that that can happen if the VA responds, you know, we have young families who are struggling to pay the bills, who've earned those benefits, or whose spouses or parents have earned the benefits, and we've had to work hard to get that even through our office.
And you actually you introduced a bill, the Veterans Employment Transition Act. Tell us a little bit about what that is.
Sure. Well, we would like to make it easier for vets who are returning from the Gulf to get jobs. And so this has two basic parts. One is a $2,400 tax credit for a company that hires a veteran and keeps him or her on the payroll for a certain amount of time. And the other is we want to deal with some of the certification. So in the private sector, if you have technical skills, you often get a certificate of competency as part of that. And the military is not giving that for skills that have been learned on a ship or in the battlefield. So we'd like a vet to have that when he or she hits the job market, rather than having to go take a course and spend $500 in 3 weeks.
Another big issue, Congresswoman Davis, is that from the ACLU, a new report that they compiled, is that VA grants, they said, as far as disability claims for military sexual trauma-related PTSD, were significantly lower as far as handling those than other PTSD claims. One question to you is, are you surprised by that? And two, do you think there's something Congress can do to sort of tackle this military sexual trauma that we keep hearing more about?
Well, I absolutely do think there's more that we can do. One of the big changes, and actually in the last defense bill, which we haven't formally passed yet because we still haven't conferenced it, but in that particular bill, we have gone far beyond where we've gone in terms of the way we support the man or woman, because we do have men who also witness or have experienced sexual trauma, that they have support counselors who can follow their cases. One of the real problems that we've had is the lack of continuity in dealing with those cases and in making certain that people who are going to trial have the kind of, you know, really help that they need, the counseling that they need.
Okay, there's so many topics to cover, and unfortunately we are out of time. So Congress members Scott Peters and Susan Davis, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thanks.
Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.